see you hater, my motivator. Y'all make me greater.
Welcome back to Independently Speaking Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Glenn Mayo. We're here today with another episode that I'm really excited about. Got a good friend of mine coming on, a guy I've known us for several years. And, you know, anytime that a basketball junkie can get on here and discuss some basketball, it's a guest out of Louisiana, so discuss some basketball over there in the boot, and just kind of talk about the landscape of high school sports in general right now, where we're at in the travel circuit, where we're at with the NIL stuff. A lot of really good stuff coming up in this episode. Again, we at independenthoops.com appreciate you watching. We appreciate your support. We look forward to what this guest has to offer. So without further ado, let's get him on. We're here today with a good friend of mine, great friend of mine for several years now, Mundy out of New Orleans, Hoop Fest Tour. Host several events from coaching clinics to AAU events to high school, middle school camps, Final Four parties. We do it all around here. So, Ma, I want to introduce you. Appreciate you being on. Kind of tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Man, it's a pleasure to be here. I mean, always good to talk to somebody I consider family. I've been knowing you a long time, man. I've been watching you grow from coaching, scouting. I think one of the best scouts in the country, assistant, head coach. I've seen you do it all, man. And I'm excited to be here today. Talk some basketball, talk about what we got coming up, and talk about how we're going to grow together.
No, absolutely. We, I tell people all the time that, I can't remember the first year. It might have been like 2016, but I coming down to New Orleans and covering those events, man. And we've got stories. We got stories for days. But starting with that event right there.
It's been a while. I think it had to be about 2014.
2014.
Got to be about 14.
I would say we watched a lot of, big name players get their start, playing in some of your events, me, put my little tweets up and write my little, articles about them and stuff. And, like I said, I took a couple years off from it when I took over that head coaching spot, which was, super fun, had a great time with that. But I did miss getting out to all the events. And like I said, the camaraderie with you guys, the event operators and, Final Fours and, that type of stuff. So it's fun, but let's, like you said, let's talk about some events. There's no doubt that if there is, a player in Louisiana, you've got a chance to see him. Whether it be at your event or someone else's. It always seems that pretty much the entire state's covered, through you. If you want to know about basketball in Louisiana, Mall Money, so you need to call. And I think we came down to it. I think it was August 8th for the statement session down in Lafayette. Obviously I was there. I did a write up and stuff. But to kind of tell us about that event, and then we kind of get into some of the sophomore and freshmen and all the academies that you got.
Gotcha. Well, the biggest thing about Louisiana is still, in my opinion, a growing market. It is not just Hoop Fest. I do cover top to bottom, from Shreveport down to New Orleans, down to the Bayou Roads. But it's not just Hoop Fest, man. We have Prep Hoops. Preston Edwards do a great job. He covers the state excellent with the Prep Hoop brand. One of the guys that I love the most as well, man, that's real good, Clifton Dixon, man. He have Louisiana Hoops. He do a great job as well. I mean, the guy is a gym rat. So not only myself, but them guys definitely helps the landscape of Louisiana basketball. It's just not me. It's a team effort because we want to grow it. We're starting to get some media guys in this area that's starting to expand the brand as well for Louisiana basketball community.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know it's, predominantly known to be a football state, and not sure that'll ever change just because of the tradition there. but you could see it gradually, slowly becoming an athlete state. You know,
and it's getting there, right? It's one of the things where it's kind of like music, right? Sometimes you got to catch on. And I can honestly say these guys are starting to step it up with the media, man. Like at these events, we didn't really used to have a lot of video people, a lot of scouting services, right? That's when we started saying, okay, Mayo, we need independent hoops down. We need you in the building. We need all these different video crews to come, whether it's on Baller TV, slam, any of them things. We have to get them guys to the events, and that's what helps us grow. And Louisiana events have been doing that over the last 2-3 years. A lot of more traffic.
Right. It's, I mean, I think, excuse me, I think, obviously COVID sped it up a little bit, because it forced the issue on getting video out there, getting social media coverage, getting, website coverage. But it just to see kind of how its trends, formed from, even back, like you were saying, back in 2014 when we were coming, to your events to where it is now, like, now everybody's in the gym putting up tweets and, has a scouting service or, whatever you want to call it. So it has been, interesting to see how that trend has developed over the years. And I do think that it plays a big part in these kids' future, these kids' success, because everybody's trying to get where they're trying to go. So you've got to have those people in your corner that are promoting you, and, you've got to use your social media as a, resume. A lot of times, like if you're applying for jobs, these guys are going to go to LinkedIn or you're going to send in your resume or something. Well, if you're a kid, wanting a, $150,000 scholarship from Duke, they're going to go search you up, and so being able to, just have your bio laid out how you want and have your highlights, presented. And, a lot of, high school parents aren't educated on the fact that you can send emails to coaches and promote your kid. I've had questions all the time like, well, can I contact the coach? Well, absolutely. I mean? If it means, little Charlie getting a scholarship, absolutely. I mean? Put that information out there and market yourself, become a brand. And I think that, we'll obviously get into it later in the episode, but I think that's what you're seeing now with this NIL stuff is people are, now looking at themselves as a brand more than anything. But it definitely has been exciting to see Louisiana grow. I had a couple of things here from when I was there, man. And when you brought me down August 8th, obviously maybe not the best basketball player there, but one of the best athletes and names, Trey Green.
Love him. Tough kid.
Tell me a little bit about him. I mean, obviously he's a big time football guy as well, but talk about him a little bit.
Well, Trey Dash, man, he's a real athlete. 6'7", man body, man hands. Honestly, man, if he put the time in, if he had the time, he could be top 10 basketball in the country as well. But you got Nick Saban coming to the house. It's gonna be hard not to take a offer like that. LSU, he's gonna be top 10 football player, regardless of position he want to do, offense or defense. The kid is a stud. But on the court, man, he had a great event at our annual statement session. Trey Dash, he's just strong, man. He finished good around the basket, super athletic, plays hard. He's a workhorse. So the sky's the limit for Trey Dash.
No, absolutely. He's a freak athlete, and just a freak specimen too. I don't know if that you can view that as a compliment, but it definitely is. The way he moves, the way he catches the ball, his explosiveness, his athleticism. He's going to be special.
Yeah, he's going to be good. He's going to be real good.
Another one that kind of took the camp by storm, and he had showed out a little bit previous to that at our Peach State event that we hosted a couple weeks before that was Cohen Rabathan.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you something.
He got a swagger to him, right?
I'll tell you about that kid, right? He's a point guard, but I don't list him as a point guard, a kid like that. I list him as a winner. That's what I list him as. You put him on a court, he's going to stand out. regardless of class, he's on the floor with the 16s or 17s. He's going to dominate. I mean, he made a run to the state championship game that was unbelievable. The kid could shoot the ball, super athletic. But once again, what you touch to start, the episode is basketball and football. And he's another kid that plays football as well. We're going to be high major for football, high major for basketball. It's really going to be his choice.
Wow. Okay. And see, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was like that on the.
You didn't know? Yeah, real deal. Just an athlete. Just look at his frame. Same thing with your dad. You look at their frame and you say, man, this kid is super athletic, tough, could get to the rim, shoot the ball, right? But once again, high major football, going to be high major for basketball. What sport do you love? And that's what it's going to come down to.
I just love that swagger he possesses, man. Like he goes out there to get it, and you can't tell him that he's not Reggie Miller. You know what I mean? Like you can't.
Winner.
I know. Following that statement session that I came to, you guys had your sophomore academy and your freshman academy. Obviously, I followed a little bit on social media as well with that kind of, talk about, some of those guys and those events. I saw, Drew Timmons and Jaden Jackson were some of those 2025 guys that really made some noise. So, talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, the freshman and sophomore is always good. And the reason why it's good because last year we did freshmen and sophomores together. It was just too overcrowded. I think another big issue is that 15 kids made the article of the event. All 15 were sophomores. That 1 year makes a major difference. So this year we decided to separate them so we could let the kids say, okay, 25 could dominate their class. We could see who's the alpha. And we did the same thing for 26. We wanted to see who's the top guys for 26 so we could start evaluating and putting them with their class.
Kind of, one aspect of your elite camps that I've seen, I think it was the freshman academy, sophomore academy, one of maybe both, is you're adding a educational piece to the camp. I know some people try to do this from time to time. It isn't always successful. But from social media, looking at you guys, it looked like it went pretty well. Kind of talk to us a little bit about how you incorporated some teaching into your camp model.
Well, for all of our camps, we make it mandatory that we do an educational session. We've been doing that camp. We've been doing the session as far as the educational piece since last year when we brought the camps back. Sean Dumas do an excellent job hosting the educational session. Sean Dumas, he has the Sean Dumas Academy, actually the only prep school in nationally prep school in Louisiana. And that piece breaks down understanding academics, athletics, the knowledge of it, right? Not just ACT, SAT, but he breaks down GPA, what's right, what's wrong. We already kind of touched on the NIL piece, and that's one of the things he speak about as well. When to accept money, when not to accept money, agents, and all of that kind of piece, man. And don't get me wrong, it's not a 2-hour session. I believe he take 20, 30 minutes. He got a video he shows them, and he really does a great job breaking it down.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his. I've recruited some of his players in the past, met them at your events and stuff. And, with us hosting camps ourselves, I'm always looking for, ways that we can kind of stay cutting edge. I like to, especially with me being a coach, I was always big. I want to mix in a little teaching with that yelling and fussing. You know what I mean? So if you can mix in some teaching with these camp stuff, man, and invest in these kids' minds just as much as you are their bodies, I think it goes a long way. So
definitely.
Well, kind of, with us getting into, here in the, getting into winter now, we're definitely, into fall and heading into winter. High school starting up, sticking with that theme. in Louisiana right now, who are some of those, top teams that, could see
High school,
themselves get national recognition?
high school, right?
Yeah, high school.
We have some very good programs, right? And I mean, I could go over. I think Madison Prep and won maybe 8 state championships in the last 12 years. Scotlandville is going to be good again. I mean, tradition. You still
Hmm.
have Zachary, 2-time champion. They're going to be very good. Oh, John is excited about this team. You also have the Bonables. Bonables going to be very good too. They have a young group. Their best players are underclassmen, but he's excited uh, about this group. You also still have the Carver, who won state championship last year. Everybody think they going down. Listen, they have a 6'6" kid. They're going to be okay. He plays the wing. He could go inside. The kid could go, right? They still have a good point guard. I believe he probably top 8 in the state. So I mean, you have something like that at a school like Harvard, and what they're doing going to be good. You still have McMain, who just won state championship 2 years ago. They reloaded. They got some tough kids, some real good guard play. They actually have 2 real good guards, right? You still have Liberty. Liberty is loaded. They have a kid that picked up some offers,
Hmm.
a point guard. Then they have a 6'8" kid as well. But I honestly, you still have Wiseman. I believe Wiseman going to be, in my opinion, top 3 in the state, top
Okay.
2. They right there knocking as one of the top teams.
Okay.
But the only program this year, I believe, going to be nationally good, and that's different from being a top state program,
Right.
is Newman. Newman is going to be very good this year. I mean, they're loaded. They won state championship last year. Randy's done a great job putting that team together. I was at the freshman and sophomore academy in Dallas 2 weeks ago.
Hmm.
His underclassmen probably would win a lot of varsity games if they was together. I mean, I believe 3 of the kids made the top 30 game, and Randy was walking around with the biggest smile in the air because he knows his freshmen and sophomores is loaded. When his senior class graduate this year, he's gonna keep floating. So he have a national schedule, but he have a national roster this year, man. They're going to be pretty good. So shout out to what Randy Livingston doing at Newman. He really built it up, doing a great job.
We've actually had him on an episode before too, and big
Okay.
fan of him and what he's done, and right before we came down for our Final Four event, got him on kind of talking about the Live On team. So he's definitely got his footprint in that state, and is a legend for sure. That
Yeah.
it's going to be a staple forever.
He's doing a great job. When you look at one of the top high school coaches in Louisiana, along with Carlos Samples, Jeff Jones, uh, you definitely could put Randy Livingston, name with what he's building. As far as with them guys, he's doing an excellent job, man.
For sure. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Well, sticking with high school, yeah, I know you got your tournament coming up. I think is it Thanksgiving, right?
Thanksgiving. We're actually doing the opener the week before Thanksgiving this year.
Okay.
We're going to do 4 games the week before, but Thanksgiving is going to be November 25th and 26th. That's going to be very good. We're going to do 6 games each day right here in New Orleans.
Okay. What facility are you using?
We're going to use McDonald 35 High School this year.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
We actually used it last year. It used to be at Loyola. Their floor was messed up last year. They're 35, but we're going to be back at 35. So we have some real good teams that's going to be participating.
So you said 6 games a day.
6 games a day.
Have you kind of started setting any matchups yet? Still
Yeah,
too
no, the matchups pretty set. They set in stone now.
Who are some of those top matchups that team that we need to get out there to see?
The matchup I really like, McMain versus Hannon should be a good one. Culver plays St. Paul's. That's going to be good as well. They're going to play the last game of the event. So I think that's going to be real good. St. Paul's have a first-class program. They have a kid named Reese, 6'3", plays the wing. He's going to be the heart and soul of that team this year. And then, once again, I just spoke on Culver, what Coach Nate built over there. They have a real good point guard, and they have a 6'7" kid, Jalen, as well. So I'm excited for that matchup. I think that one's going to be real good. Another one that I know for sure is going to be good. They actually playing the last game on Friday night, I believe. I got to look at the full schedule, but Liberty and Bible, that game is going to be good. Both them guys are real good friends too. I believe they play AAU together, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be a good game. I think I stole that game from my friend. I think that would have been a good. I think that would have been a good money game.
Prior, or was were they requesting it prior, or was that your mix?
Nah, I think they was doing it, but it was going to be a good money game, so I stole that one.
had to get in there. He owed you.
Yeah, they gonna get me back for that one, but I had to get him. I gotta get that.
I love it. So no, that sounds really good. And so you said, what was it? You said the 25th and 26th for the dates?
November 25th and 26th.
Okay.
That's the Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay, Madonna 35. Okay.
Yeah, Madonna 35.
Perfect. Okay. Let's say, didn't they? Who was the last great to come out of there?
Out of what? Thanksgiving?
Out of Madonna.
Out of who?
Out of Madonna 35. Anybody come out of there lately?
Late. Oh yeah. Deaky and Bryson.
Okay.
They was at 35.
Okay.
Yeah, they was at 35. Deaky was
had to throw a test at you right there. Oh,
I had to think. I think he graduated 16. I had to put the year in the thinking back in. You know what I mean?
No question.
I just seen Deaky, man. Deaky's going to touch NBA roster this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to touch it. Sky's the limit. He 6'5", play a lot of positions. But that kid, he's going to be good.
Just impacts winning. I wouldn't call him positionless. He just impacts winning.
Just a winner. Yeah,
he's some really good ones.
Yeah, he's gonna be good. I'll tell you this: when you look over Louisiana basketball, even from around that time, even though we've been having talent, but once again, it's easier to broadcast them now.
Right.
So our 23s, 24s, even that 25, 26 class, you're going to see it. We got some guys down here. They come. Our 24 class is good, especially size-wise, right?
Okay. We
already spoke about Trey Dash, 6'7". Mm-hmm. We had Jeremiah Evans, 6'10", long arms, big hands. At Southwood, started to pick up major offers. Ty Jones, we spoke about Newman. That's another one, 6'8", freakish, athletic, but he's a full-time basketball guy. Same thing with Jeremiah. We also have Alan Graves at Ponchatoula, 6'8" kid. He was at statement session, did a great job. Great job at the grading session. So one thing about it, we used to lack some size for a while, but that 24 class got some guys with some size, some height, some athleticism. We're going to be all right, man.
Kind of talk to us about the state of Louisiana basketball as a whole, as far as, who the top talent. I know we just kind of covered some of the top guys, but as a whole, are you guys, obviously known for being a football state, but, basketball wise, kind of run me some of those numbers down.
Well, a lot of time people say Louisiana not a basketball state, right? Well, right now we have a lot of guys playing college basketball. We starting to get some pros too, right? And I think the biggest issue is that guys are trying to compare Louisiana to Georgia, to Texas. But let me just show you some numbers, right? Louisiana as a whole has 4.6 million people. Atlanta has 6.1 million people. Dallas, I'm not talking about Texas, talking about the city of Dallas, in their metro area have 7.5 million people. That's more than our entire state. So it's not like we don't have hoopers. We just don't have the numbers that some of them bigger
Right.
cities have. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's no disrespect to what they have going on because Dallas and Atlanta have built something special. Right now, I see on Twitter, Facebook, who's the mecca of basketball. Both of them are loaded. I don't know either. One moment I'm thinking Atlanta, one moment I'm thinking Dallas. They both are very good, but it's a numbers game. And I mean, their numbers, I mean, they got the best airports, the biggest airports, the best facilities in the country. So them guys are doing a great job. But Louisiana, we just don't have the numbers some of them guys have.
Gotcha. No question. It's hard to say, same way with like, comparing NBA players, hard to, compare one era to the next. It's hard to, like you said, compare one hotbed to another when you're dealing with different size pools to draw from. You know what I mean? And I think, like you said, New Orleans and not just New Orleans, but the state of Louisiana as a whole has, over the last decade definitely seen a spike and, the number of, college basketball players rise.
In
Yeah.
Mississippi too, man. I know you keep pounding Louisiana, and I already told you, man. You got to give my Mississippi people some love, right?
Absolutely.
Talante Weber, man, that guy gonna be a star. You know Talante.
Yeah, I've actually known him for a while. He was up in North Carolina.
Actually, he introduced us.
Huh?
He introduced us.
Yeah. I mean, I introduced you to all the greats, Small. Come on now.
Yeah, you do. But that guy's gonna be a star in his business, man. Southern Sports Platform.
Yeah.
He had a campus weekend. Oh my God, he's doing a great job in Mississippi. I mean, from top to bottom. I mean, he knows the guys. Shit, I call him about the guys all the time. He knows them, all the high schools. He have a big high school event. You also have Lavelle Shoes Johnson. You met Shoes before?
I haven't. I haven't met him, but I know of him.
You know him? I thought you met him at one of our events before.
I don't think I
He
have.
was at statement session last year.
Last year he was?
He was at statement session last year.
I probably met him there then.
And he do a great job. He had the Mississippi scouting report as well. He does a great job. He knows everybody top and down. If I have a question, I could call him as well. He's a gym rat. Shouts out to Lavelle as well. You also have Mark Rowe. Mark Rowe been doing an excellent job for many years.
Yeah.
Right? He have a real good high school event. He also have a big camp as well. He did in August. I think it was the same time we did Sophomore Academy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, same time. So them guys, man, they do a great job. Louisiana, Mississippi, man, it's like a family, man. It's so close.
Border. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there, man. I get to Jackson in 2 hours, man. So.
And I do tend to overlook them some, and we do an event down there in Jackson in June that we enjoy. So and we enjoy coming down there as well because I mean there's something between you can kind of pull from some of those Louisiana teams, and then there's the NBA and Team Hood and those guys right there in that area. So yeah, there's definitely some talent there for sure.
And they're starting to grow too. Once again, we spoke about the media, right? You have Southern Sports Platform, Prep Hoops do a great job covering Mississippi. And then you have a new company too, man, called Southside Hoops. Their video been doing a great job this last 8 to 12 months. They really grew. They got some guys I've been seeing them in Atlanta. I believe they went out to Vegas. They got some real good equipment. They starting to grow. So Mississippi, man, they on the rise for sure. And I want them guys to keep growing because they're doing good.
Oh, absolutely. Hopefully, Independent Hoops has a big time pull down there to advance the state. That's our goal.
Y'all had a good one down there. It was real good. Y'all had a late jump. But y'all turnout was actually pretty good.
Yeah, and it'll grow, and it was big before COVID, so getting it back will be, it'll be good. Mm-hmm. So I guess transitioning, to kind of, a different topic that kind of everybody wants to talk about a little bit. And I know you kind of got some knowledge on it, but, NIL deals have been a game changer, in all of college sports. And we are starting to see more and more of those deals kind of trickling down to high school players. I think within this past week, we saw Nike end up doing a deal with some high school players, one of them including Bronny, so imagine that. But Louisiana is actually one of the 9 states that permit high school players to kind of, partake in the benefits of the NIL deals and allowing them to brand their stuff like that. What is your take on this? Do you think, high school players should have that right to kind of monetize off of name, image, and likeness? How do you feel like it'll have a, effect on the high school game as we know it, maybe college recruitment as we know it? Just kind of all that stuff. Let's dive into that NIL deal stuff.
Just the thing, right? I love that these kids could make money off whatever they can make money off, and I don't understand why that bothers some people. If I want to make money, then I can make money. You have coaches making millions and millions of dollars on all levels. So why does it matter that a kid want to make money from it? But touching on NIL, right? I was excited about Louisiana. Out of 50 states, Louisiana is one of the only states that let kids do the NILs, right? No other state, no southern states allows it. That's Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, none of them, but Louisiana do. So if these kids have the opportunity, then let them do it.
So with that, it's interesting. Like it's one of those deals where I don't think we get a lot of, pushback or drawback or, any of that, if you will, about is it right or wrong for them to get paid? Because I don't think anybody really has a problem with it. You'll always have a group that has a problem. There's always a group that's got a problem with everything, but the majority, I don't think would. I think the confusing part that we're running into it now is that it's not uniform. You got 9 states out of all of them, and so it kind of, if you're a high school coach in Alabama and Louisiana, you're probably using that to your advantage. Especially if you're one of these high school teams or like high school national teams, like you were saying. Because you look at these kids nowadays that, it doesn't even have to be sports related. It could be, any trend on TikTok at all. You know what I mean? And then now you've got a following. Now you've got something that you can monetize. And then
well, to be real with you, Mayo, I don't see why it ever was a problem anyway. That's just like if a kid used to go play in a pro-am, if the state found out the kid could get suspended or they could forfeit game. Why does that matter? I don't understand. Right. Just let them play. You know what I mean? Let them play, and just like this, let them make money. Because come on, let's be honest, right? You think a company really how many of these kids can really go out there and get a Bronny James for $1 million?
Right.
500,000. Most of them not getting it. It might only be $1,000, might be $1,500. Why does it matter? Let them just get it. Right. There should have never been a rule for them not to get money anyway.
Right.
So that's another topic, man. I'm gonna let it go, man. I'm gonna let it go. All these different rules and all that. Oh man, it's crazy. Just like the sitting out a year, right?
Yeah.
I hate to jump the topic. Why do I have to sit out a year? Why?
Right. What do you gain from it?
If I go get if I'm at a D1 now, if I'm a coach, if I go to another school, I gotta sit out a year. Why I can't gotta sit out a year? Same thing with NIL. Get the money. It's always about the money at the end of the day. Gotta go get it. Let them do it.
And honestly, I think it, like you said, it's time. I feel like a lot of this, it maybe started as a problem that wasn't a problem because, back then, there wasn't a lot of people popular enough to do it. And then, as TVs and social media.
That's the biggest one, social media. You send out a tweet now, it could go viral. You know what I mean? TikTok go viral.
Man.
I mean, and once again, it's not that the athletes today so much better than the athletes from 20, 30 years ago. It's just now you could just upload it and everybody can see you. It's right. You know what I mean? Like I saw a coach tweet, this had to be last week. Stop offering kids after I offer them. Go to the gym yourself, right?
Right.
This is a lot of shit out of tweet. Oh man, I offered this kid, then the next guy coming and offering the kid and never seen the kid play.
I'm telling you, I've been in that office. I've been in that staff meeting where you're in there and you're either the boss or you're telling the boss, like, man, I don't know whether I want to retweet this shit. Because as soon as I retweet it, the wrong coaches are going to see it. And then they're vultures. They're going like, but you don't want like.
I'm telling you,
you're in there making life on Twitter in here.
That's how it goes. I'm telling you, it's crazy. I mean, guys don't want to be in the gym no more.
Right.
I mean, that's amazing to me. They don't. I mean, even now, you see guys in the gym, it's more commercial than anything.
Texting.
Like guys not coming really sit there. Who gonna go to the empty gym?
I really think the days of, and especially with the transfer portal, but I really think the days of sitting in a back gym and finding, that stud that no one knew about that maybe bloomed late or had that hell of a summer between his, 10th and 11th grade year. And now he's, killing and finding that true hidden gem. Because listen, most and I've been a college coach, so I'm not trying to talk bad on the profession. You're best friends. I'm best friends with a lot of college coaches right now present. So it's not a knock against them, but even the players that you're going to recruit, you're texting 80% of the time through. You know what I mean? So the guys that you're not there to see, come on, man. Come on, you ain't watching that.
Well, the number one
YouTube TV on your phone.
Look, this is the funny thing. Are you still there? You break it up. You can hear me?
Yep, I got you.
The funniest thing, right? You'll have a guy call you about a kid. You break it down, man, how good this kid could be, whether he, low D1, mid, high, it doesn't matter. The question I hate the most. Who else recruiting him, baby?
Who else offered him? Who else is going?
Who else offer? Who else recruiting him? Right? Why does that matter?
And see, like this one is like I'll kind of like defend it a little bit. And I always defended it when I was a college coach. And the only reason I personally defended him is because I wasn't at Duke, I wasn't at Kentucky, and then when I was a head coach, I wasn't at Chipola or Northwest where I started. I was at the bottom of the barrel. So my deal is like there was plenty of times where I saw people I knew, especially because I had scouting experience and stuff that I knew right away, like, hey, that's who I want.
Mm-hmm.
But it don't matter if that's who I want if Georgia Highlands, who just made the Final Four 2 years in a row, wants them and has got, more scholarship money than I want. Mm-hmm. So there would be times where, I would, call a guy on a kid and I know whether I wanted him or not. It wasn't who was recruiting them that made that decision for me. But I would ask them, like, who else is involved? Because then it lets me know, like, how hard I need to go and when I need to, like, because if somebody else is involved, maybe I don't just, back out all in all. Just like maybe I don't just like, oh, well, Chipola's recruiting Jordan Farrell as well. Mm-hmm. But maybe it tells me, oh, what Chipola's recruiting, like, man, I need to be in this dude's living room. Like, I can't just be calling him. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I like to know who else is recruiting them because now it lets me know what I got to do. Like it's like the same thing with dating. You know what I mean? Like if you going after a girl and Tommy going after a girl with Tommy real sharp dressed and you an athlete, you might.
Nah, I'm married, man. I ain't doing all that.
Like it's just like when it comes,
I ain't doing all that.
when it comes to
I'm not
recruiting, man.
going. You just a coach at heart, man. You giving them guys excuses, man. Go do the dirty work, man.
No, but I'm telling you, when it comes to recruiting, like you want to figure out how to get an edge, how to get an advantage. So with me, when I asked it was never to like justify my eye, because in my eye I already knew whether I wanted you or not. When I asked, it was to figure out whether I could get you or not, because I couldn't get everybody at the
I'll
spot.
tell you this. You said you at the bottom of the barrel, but what you and Jake built over there was special, man. With no money. I was tired of you sending me them fundraiser things too. So I'm gonna let you know. You and Jake send me one more damn fundraiser. I'm happy.
No scholarship, man. We know where the money's at now. We know.
y'all send me a fundraiser request every day. I had to call Dame. Say, Dame, are you getting this request? I know they're not just sending it to me.
Listen, when you got to raise $20,000 a year, you're out there throwing the newspapers on the weekend. You're doing it all.
Man, we should have had NILs back then. How many players y'all had coming out of that thing?
Man, listen, you know how much money Vince Cole would have got at USC Salkehatchie if they had NIL deals? He was a legend there. He was. They loved him.
You thought that one kid thought you was USC.
hey,
there would have been a lot more of them.
Listen, you gotta swing. You gotta seem a little bigger than. Nobody could pronounce
USC, baby.
Nobody could pronounce the last name, so I just walk around with USC.
Y'all was swinging at USC, man.
People didn't know which coast we were on, West Coast or East Coast, but we were high major D1 either way.
Say, man, y'all did a good job, man. I'm not gonna lie, y'all did a good job. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say I'm sorry because me and the rest of the country thought that they did you bad. You're my guy, bro. But they actually had a great thing going, and it should still be going.
We built it, and a lot of that goes, to Jake Williams and now Milwaukee, and they're building something. He's going about it quietly and humbly.
I'm gonna stop shooting his name out there too, because that's our guy. But he was supposed to speak at my conference, man, last year.
Wow,
I'm still chew him out for that too. And he don't watch it. I'm gonna send him this clip. Because he already told me, 100% I'm going to be at the conference this year.
Listen, he owes you. He owes you.
Yeah,
he owes you. If he get, you know what that means. If you get that, you can just cancel it right away.
Jake needs to be at my conference. Jake gonna be a head coach in a couple of years. He come to get his guy.
He's gonna hire me.
So now he's gonna be a head coach soon on that level.
He's like his work ethic, man, and like his everybody works hard, but very few are relentless. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are working hard, but not everybody's like, man, I'm like, we're gonna make it work. You know what I'm saying? It's a square and it's a circle, but we're gonna get it in there somehow. You know what I mean? We gotta grind down on it. So I think that's what makes them super successful. It was a great experience to kind of get to work with him there at Northwest Florida. We lived together for a year and worked under Steve DeMayo, the year after they won a national championship. And then we make an Elite Eight run. I mean, it was a special time. And then, for him to kind of take me with him out there to, Salkehatchie. And, I think he was there 3 years. And by the time his third year, I think they finished 7th in the country and, was
COVID. That was COVID year, right?
COVID year.
Hey,
when I was there, we were able to start a women's program and kind of get them ranked in the country within our second year of being a program, and then back on the men's side. So it's kind of real sad to see the state of the program where it's at now. I think they announced that they discontinued the program for the year. They're going to try to use this year to get a coach in and recruit some new players. And, it's actually
it's starting over again. I mean, what, 4 guys? I mean, maybe 3, 4 guys?
Yeah, 5 guys in the last 8 months. And, since I left, 5 guys. And, that's what a lot of people don't understand is everybody wants to be a head coach. Everybody wants to call a timeout. And, that's all real cool and all. But, now you've got to, get a team in. that's the first and foremost part. And then if you're at Salkehatchie with no money and your apartments look like, the Chicago projects,
Man.
imagine selling that to some mommies and
Yeah,
daddies.
I tell you this, I'm happy you didn't say New Orleans project because they're condos now.
Hey,
So I don't know how Chicago look. I'm happy you didn't use New Orleans.
I love New Orleans will always hold a special place in my heart.
I'll tell you. Look, listen. But let's touch back. I know you said you have real close friends in the business, which I know. Shit, man, you have a real good friendship, and I have some real good friends in the business, guys that I talk to every day. But I know we cracked the joke about Jake coming to the coaches conference, but that's another thing I know you wanted to speak about is the conference. You mentioned that to me as well. And the Big Easy Coaches Conference, man, I really love that event. It really gives the high school guys a chance to connect with the college coaches. It's a great event, man. They come down. They really give a lot of knowledge out there, man. A lot of guys ask me all the time, well, how can I get into college coaching? How can I build a network with these guys? Because now a lot of times it used to be the Final Four, but the Final Four is really a big party now, to be honest with you.
Right.
That's it, right? But I could honestly say this gives you a chance to really connect with guys where you're shaking the right hands. Now, as far as an event like Final Four, guys got to go to 20 different events, man. They got to go to these events. They got to shake hands, take all these pictures. They got to be up and down. But when you go to the right coaches conference, you could actually learn from these guys. Whether they talk about quick hitters, zone offense, zone defense, full court press, half court press, man to man. And that's the learning curve of it. But then you have the actual networking side. A lot of these guys that attend these coaches conference, next up, they're going to be head coaches. Absolutely. So do you know what them guys need? They need a young guy like Glenn Mayo say, man, that guy works hard. I met him at the ex-coaches conference convention here and there, and I want to give him a shot. And it might not be an assistant. You might be ops. You might be special assistant to the head coach. It could be so many different things, but you have to network in this business. This is a relationship business. Anybody around the country, I could call, Mayo, you could call, but it's about having good relationships, man, and that's what it's about.
I said it, all the time when I was coaching that, it's not what you know that'll get you a job. What you know will keep you your job when you get it. But you ain't getting a job in this basketball community off of what you know. You're going to get a job off of who you know, who you're networking with, who, feels like they can trust you, they respect you, that type of deal. And I told you, man, that coaches conference is a huge deal. Like, I have people all the time talking about it, like I get a huge national event, which it is. And they're like, the guy. I'm like, man, yes, I know Maul, man. I know Maul for years. That's my guy. Call them all right now. but that's the type of respect that it gets nationally. And I get just the names that you have. I'm not coming until I get to speak, but I do I do I want
to be your guy, man. That's the only reason I'm on this thing, man, because I'm your guy, man. Because of Mayo.
Introduce you all the best people, the Dame Keys, the Talante Webbers, the Jake Williams. I mean, I'm probably forgetting a few. I mean,
that's the one that matters. That's the one.
Proclaim Javante Smart, before he could even read or write barely.
Hey, you called that one, man. You called him. I was like, wow. That's when I knew you had an eye for this. When I saw that and you told me, I said, man, I'm busy. Come watch him right now. And since then, I can't get rid of you, man.
I gotta have him around.
I mean, I tried, man. I can't get rid of you.
Shit.
I can't get rid of you, man. So, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see, how that event keeps growing. I actually believe it's going to be one of the best coaches conference in the country.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, you get a couple of days in New Orleans. I mean, it's a good event, man. We have a good time every year. real good speakers, high major, low major, JUCO head coaches, NEIA head coaches. And this year, I believe, it's going to be the best one yet, man. Best one yet.
There we
Shout
go.
out to all my guys that spoke the last couple of years, too, man. I really appreciate you guys.
I'd say the foundation really got that thing off the ground. But like I said, you can never go wrong with a few days in New Orleans.
Oh, never, never. There's always some good stories when you leave here.
Always. But man, I definitely appreciate you taking the time, getting on. Much respect to you and what you've been able to build. Aside from our friendship, I think you always know I've had a great level of respect for you and kind of how you conduct your business and carry yourself. And I think we put it on the social media and we put it on a lot of different things, but I think a lot of the credit for the basketball in the state does go to you, your team of people, Mo and Mike and all the guys that you got surrounded with you, Josephine, Miss Josephine, my lady. So
hey, I tell you, man, like you said, I get a lot of the credit, man. I say that you give me the credit, that's cool, but the job that Josephine and Mo and Micah and Darren is always Hoop Fest. Darren do Hoop Fest alongside me, man. Micah, Mo, Josephine, Darren, man, them guys do a great job. They're the ones that makes it grow, right? A lot of people are putting me as the face, the Hoop Fest, but the they do, man. They make sure the events is first class, organized, everything's running on time. Mo, man, that's Mr. Recruiter, him, man. He's giving out. He gonna give out 1,000 flyers in a weekend. It's to the point, man. With Mo, man, Mo and Michael, bro, like them guys, like, why you here? Like, you just taking up my space, man. I'm running this show.
I'm telling you, the lights would go off without them, man. I'm telling you, you're only as good as the people that you got around you. You know what I mean?
Man, you don't have to tell me, man. You only as strong as the people around you. You know, I mean, I'm on year 10 headed to year 11, man. You shit. You seen it from the start, right? We don't grow the way we have grown without them.
Right.
I mean, without them, early on you're trying to do so much. At one point, I'm working a clock book, site director. I got Devin working a clock book, concessions. We thought we were Superman. Yeah, Superman, right?
Yeah.
But once we started, Josephine came with the muscle. Josephine came, did a great job. We started getting Mo, Micah. It's a package deal, right? So once I got that package deal, them guys, man, they done hired so many different guys to come in.
Right.
And they do a great job managing, man. I shout out to them guys too, man.
And that's what it's hard, man, especially in today's world, and especially when it's something that isn't necessarily just benefiting them. Like obviously, they're getting paid to do it, but when you just do something with pride, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna do the best you can do. And like that whole lineup right there, like you don't find like a lot of like those are some straight shooters right there. You know what I mean?
And it's different, even like with camps, man. I was done doing camps, right? We stopped doing camps maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Easy 4 or 5 years ago. And Coach Joey told us, right? You met Joey?
Yeah.
Right? Man, my guy. He like, got to get back doing the camp. I said, all right, we can do the camps. You're over it. You're going to run the camps, right? So, and it's funny because like it's camp season now, the last 2 years, and there's no Mo, there's no Micah, right? But now I got Joey. He's my Micah and Mo on the camp side.
Right.
He got his microphone, he got his clipboard, and he's another one. Without him, we wouldn't be doing camps again. So shout out to Joey too, man. He another guy that helps the show go. You know what I'm saying? He keeps the engine going. Coming with new ideas. I think we need to do this more. I think we need to do that. And that's the thing about growing, right? You get these guys around you, and they coming with different ideas, right? And then a guy like me or you will shoot it out, right? And they thinking it's me and you, but the whole time it's the Mike, it's the Mo, the Darren,
Right,
the
right,
Joey.
right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Josephine cursing me out because I'm not listening, because I'm hard-headed. But when I finally do listen, now we start to grow. So that's what it's about, man. It's
Right.
people around you, you know, what makes, you know, the company, man, makes you grow. You know,
Right.
even honestly, man, I don't think I'd be sitting here today, you know, if it wasn't because of the Damians and Calvin Powers. You know what I'm saying? You know, I remember Calvin telling me, man, this is what we need to do. This is how you need to do it. Right? And me constantly calling him if he finally answers the phone. When he finally picks up, you know, he helps this grow, you know.
Yeah.
So, man, shout out to all the guys, man. And
Hey,
even
who gives like better, you know, like I almost just feels like your agent advice better than KP.
nobody.
Nobody.
Because KP gives you the advice, right? He don't care if it hurts.
Yeah. Right. Right. He doesn't.
One day we was eating a steak, man, and I'm having a good day, right? And you know, a lot of times people tell you what you want to hear, right?
Yeah.
He gonna take a knife. He gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to you,
Yeah.
man. Man, I love KP, man. KP, I was in the school system, man. KP said, "Oh man, you too comfortable, man." I like going to work, man. I like the kids, man. You're too comfortable. Who fest will never grow until you quit. Man, his voice was playing in my head for so long. You're not hungry. You're not grinding. Man, I quit the school messing with KP. Now I'm stuck like you, talking to you all day. Dang. Man, I can't get rid of y'all.
I'm telling you, man, that Dame is I can't, you know, Dame and KP, man, like especially when you're talking about KP, man, he's just such a critical thinker. You know what I mean? Like he really kind of just has a good, you know, understanding of a big picture type of deal and a direction that you need to head, and then how to critically do it. He just, you know, sound advice. Like if I ever blow up in anything, coaching, scouting, rapping, you know, whatever it is, that's my agent. You know what I mean? Like because
you gotta call him, man. Same thing with Dame, man. I get a lot of advice from Dame, bro.
Yeah.
When you talk about the definition of a big brother, right? Well, it don't matter what the situation is with Dame too, man. I can always count on him.
Right.
You know, and to watch what he built and the people that he didn't put around him. You know, we talked about the crew with me, but he have a good crew with him. You know, Mayos, KP, Zoe. Yeah. You know, but that starts, you know, with the head, man. And Dame doesn't. I mean, he's 20 years in. He's one of the godfathers, you know, in my opinion, of this grassroots. You know, it's not just my opinion, man. People he don't get the all the way credit, right? That he deserves nationally. You know, that Peace State event is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 300 teams, every college coach. You got the NYBL, the best middle school league in the country. What he's built is amazing.
I was about to say, man, he stone cold hustler, just definitely like, you know, has spent his whole life just, you know, grinding it out and figuring out how to, like, you know what I mean? Like he's got me, you know, really on a 3 to 5 with him, you know what I mean? To where like now I don't know if I want to go back and coach college basketball. And you know, I had, you know, you know me, that was what I was doing since, you know, I was like 15. You know what I mean? Like it didn't matter nothing. And so just to see like, you know, his business approach and his business mind and, you know, his creativities all the time, like so much stuff that I don't even like sometimes, but he's just all the time shooting it out. And I'm just like, man, where do you even got time to come up with all this or entertain another idea, more or less go through with doing it. And he'll go, and then if you tell him he ain't going to do it, he'll make it work.
I tell you, I look at, like you say, a lot of times guys that been in this business so long, right? You know, Dame, you probably talk about 25 years in this business. I mean, Pete State, what, 22? Yeah. 23 years old? So you talk about a 25-year guy. And normally when guys in the business that long, they don't like to make changes. They don't like socials. right? He have all the platforms. He have the younger guys coming up, explaining what he need to do. He learned quick, and he's so creative. He do some stuff. He talking to me about it the entire time we on, right? I'm like this. I'm about to steal that.
I'm taking right. And it's like every time,
I'm about to steal that.
we'll be getting ready for like an event or something, and so me, like I'm like a system guy, or like I want to do I want a routine, and I want to get in it, and I want to do it every day, and that's how you become great. And so I'm thinking like, okay, we got to make these calls, we got to hit this and that. This dude's come to me with like 5 different like marketing branding ideas. And like, sure enough, one of them is like a home run. Like we're about to, knock it out the park with one of them. And it's, it's just because that's the way he's wired. Like he's just, he's all the time wiring to be creative. And then aside from like the business side of it, you know what I mean? Like you said, the big brother aspect of it, he doesn't let a lot of people like really in close. He's not a very, too sociable guy. But, once he sees he can trust you, what I mean? Like you said, there's never a time that you can call him that you really need him, and he's not going to come through.
I'm going to tell you, man, like I know the world call him, Big Dame. When I first started this business, right, like God told me, man, I can't remember who told me this. Well, I do remember now because I said I can't remember who told me this, right? But it's funny, man. Before I met Dame, the guy told me, he said, look, as you grow in this business, man, you get a big event, right? And they got a guy, man. He's the Suge Knight of grassroots basketball. He's like 6'6", 350 pounds, man. So what he do when you got a big event, he go to the event and he just takes your tournament, man. So I'm like, you're gonna take my tournament from who? I said he can try that. Some stuff that's some Midwest, some East Coast stuff. He ain't coming to do all of my stuff, right? So man, I'm telling you, man, that Suge Knight of graduate, man, it's so funny. So a couple of years go by, I had the big exposure hoop festival. We had like 150 teams that year, and it was kind of just jumping off. And I remember you being there, and I know KP was there. I think you was there too. But then Josephine called, but Josephine said, they got this big old guy at the front desk. His name Keys, he want to see you, right? Keys want to see you. So I went to thinking, this is Suge Knight. I guess he here to come take my
event.
Man, I get there, man, I can't make him sense, man. That was damn near 10 years ago, man. I can't get rid of him. I said this big teddy bear, man, ain't no
It's funny how it's funny how he really gets that reputation too. Like,
man,
people
they
really
make it seem like he's really, man, the most genuine person you gonna meet, man.
Oh, yeah.
Now he ain't gonna take no shit though, but he's he ain't taking that now.
Hey, he ain't taking no slide. He ain't taking no shorts unless
don't take this video and go over there and try to push him or nothing. I ain't say all that. Hey. I just said he's a nice guy.
Hey, he
ain't Suge Knight though.
Like he said it best, man. He ain't taking no shorts unless he's going to the beach. All right.
That's my guy, man. What y'all got going on, man? It's amazing, man. And I'm sure y'all have some big stuff coming up this year as well, man. And I'm excited to see y'all grow, man. Over these last 10, 11 years, man, you guys have really, really grown, man. Really grown. And I'm proud of every step that all of y'all making,
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm really excited about it. I definitely appreciate it. I think, the next 3 to 5 years could be, really good for us here. I think we got a trajectory to build this thing and grow it. And, if there's one thing that, Big Dame's about is he'll give you that confidence in yourself to invest because, hey, he'll put his money where his mouth is. You know what I mean? Like, he's that type of dude. Like, hey, we got a year coming up. Let's go put, X amount of dollars out in deposits for the whole year. You know what I mean? Let's go, do this and that, or, let's invest in a full-time salary employee. You know what I mean? Like he's not afraid to invest up front to see it pay off. So that, definitely a blessing to get to show up here every day and kind of work with him and the avenues and the platforms we got to kind of jump on here. And like I said, man, hopefully it's only the beginning. You know, life is short, nothing's promised, but you know, hopefully 20 years from now, we're back on here, you know, sharing more laughs with more stories.
Well, I'm not invited back to 20 years.
I mean, they're like, until I get to speak at the coaches conference, I don't know if it's, you know what I mean? I just don't know.
That's a long time, man. That's a long time.
I'm sure we'll be next year to preview the state again. You know what I mean? I got to come down for the state session.
Let's do it. And next time we're not just doing Louisiana, we're doing Mississippi too.
Okay.
I think it's only right because half the events is in Mississippi as well. So I'm gonna get my facts together all the way about Mississippi. So I'm gonna call my guys, Talante, Choose.
You tell Talante. I'm gonna call Talante. I'm gonna try to call him before
Be
you
expecting a call. Can I do a joint one with him?
Yes. Yeah.
I like that. That way I can get my Mississippi roots too. I like that.
I'm a huge fan of Talante, man. I think he's a rising star in this game, honestly. So
I think so. I think
if he can kind of latch his horse to the right wagons here, I think things are gonna be really good for him. And so, but I appreciate you, man. It's been fun, and you know, I'll get this chopped up and sent over to you. And like I said, man, much blessings and success your way, brother.
Appreciate y'all, man. It's been a week, man. I'll talk to you soon, my guy.
All right, peace out, brother.
Later.